Home on the Range is a 2004 Disney animated film which received middling to negative reception. Broadly, it's about three cows who go on a grand adventure to earn enough money to save their farm from bankruptcy. Less broadly, it's about a cattle thief named Alameda Slim, who hypnotizes his quarry using yodeling, and the various animals and non-animals who desire his capture. He's a MacGuffin, and everyone wants a piece. Aesthetically and conceptually, there's a lot about this film that should be charming. The protagonists, antagonists, and minor antagonists are all at least a bit atypical, and their backgrounds provide enough context for engaging banter and character development. But the execution on every promising element is pretty terrible. There's a lot to unpack. The excess of characters means that almost none of them get time for proper development, and the few scenes of dialogue which try anything emotional are shockingly incompetent. Emotional states flip like switches whenever the plot demands it, without any segue to soften the whiplash. It's transparently bad writing, but certainly not the worst thing pulled here. None of the characters think. Every decision they arrive at is arbitrary and senseless. They have full faith in plans that have no hope of success, and we're meant to cheer them on solely because they're the good guys in this scenario. But as a result, their victory feels unearned. Whenever it's time to do or die, they simply do, and they do flawlessly. It felt as though their success was always inevitable, because the entire world is rigged in their favor. They have some of the most egregious plot armor imaginable. There's also very little narrative consistency, so the stakes feel even more pointless. Alameda Slim and his method of cattle rustling is supposed to be this big, frightening secret. How does he make all those cattle disappear in the dead of night and vanish without a trace? The answer is apparently yodeling. Really, really loud yodeling with some of the most aggressively colorful visuals available on your home entertainment devices. It's goofy and unique, sure, but it makes no sense with the setting or foreshadowing. This is the least sneaky way anyone could possibly steal cattle, but somehow we're supposed to believe that Alameda Slim's methods are shrouded in mystery and legend. Almost no thought went into the believability of the story. Now, sure, you might say that last one, or even most of these, aren't really the point. You might be looking at this, shaking your head, and saying, Addy. This here is clearly a rip-roaring, rump-rompin', rootin'-tootin' throwback to them good old days when cartoons was about antics and color and stupid critters whomping on each other, y'all. And I'd be absolutely inclined to agree if it was any good at being a slapstick cartoon in the first place. The reason slapstick cartoons are so funny and so timeless is because they play with our basic human intuition. They warp our understanding of space, physics, and causality to create unexpected outcomes. But Home on the Range doesn't care the least bit about being clever. It thinks all you need for slapstick is loud noises, aggressive visuals, gratuitous violence, and explosions. Home on the Range feels cloying and desperate. It wants to be as charming as its inspirations, but lacks any of the style or wit to pull it off. It's a bad serious story, it's a bad goofy story, and the few sparks of creativity are snuffed out amid a sea of tiresome gags.